Good morning. What day is it today? Friday, May 5th. Friday, May 5th. It's about 67 degrees outside in Irvine. Nice and cool, overcast. The only thing missing would be a little bit of rain. I wish we had some rain. It's actually been a little bit warm the last couple of days in the afternoon, and it's made me miss the rain, especially being in California since we never get any. I think I kind of got spoiled early on in the year where it seemed to be raining every week. I miss that part. So I wanted to talk about showing up. I mentioned it yesterday briefly in talking about the writing with Medium or just writing in general for ideas and topics. And I realize now that this is day 7 going on of the daily stand-up. And this morning I was very little bit behind, and I realized it's 9:05 now when I'm starting the stand-up, and I kept feeling this, like, I don't know what it was, like a pressure and itch that I was late. And that's a good thing. That tells you that you're starting to build up a habit, and when you're doing something new, you're trying something new. And I think that's what this is for me. So showing up every day matters. I think it's important. Whether you're an artist, if you're a painter, if you draw, a designer, a photographer, a writer, you name it, any sort of skilled craft, there's a big difference from doing it every so often or every couple of days and trying to put your work out, or doing it every single day and publishing or sending something out to be viewed by the public every single day. And for me, coming from a fine arts background to then design, I have this big need to try to make things as perfect and as polished as possible. Now, I used to call myself a perfectionist when I was younger, and I thought that I was, but that's not true. It's just that I've always been very aware about where my skill set is within something. So if I was drawing a cartoon character, I knew whether it was good or not, and based on my interpretation of what I was drawing, I knew if I was happy with it or not. And if I wasn't happy with it, I didn't want to ship it. And I would sit there and redraw it over and over and over and over again. I would erase the lines and redraw them again until I got them just right. And what I realized now, looking back at it, it's not that I was a perfectionist, but the fact that I had a high bar for what I needed to meet, but I knew that that bar was not unattainable. I knew that I could actually get it if I just practiced, or if I just put a little effort into it, or a lot of effort into it at times. And once I hit that bar, then I had no problem moving forward and shipping things. And it took a while to be able to do that with art, and I never actually understood why I was eventually able to do that, and why for so long I have not been able to do that with design. I would say maybe over the last 2 years, I've gotten more comfortable with it. But prior to that, my first 4 to 6 years designing, there was no way I was shipping anything if it wasn't polished. I didn't want anybody to look at it because I thought somebody would just call me out and say that it wasn't good. That's been the same case with a lot of these videos with my blog. I've gone through having to learn about camera equipment, having to learn about editing with Premiere. This just happens to be the software that I chose for editing. I could have gone with something much easier. I also have ScreenFlow, which is great if you're just doing stuff on your screen. I could have edited the videos on that, but I chose not to. I chose to Premiere instead, partly because it's a part of the Adobe Creative Suite, and because I do use Photoshop and Illustrator at times. I wanted to have Premiere and then also After Effects, and have everything within like that same ecosystem. So there was that. Sound quality with a Rode mic, that's always been a little bit of an issue. Learning about aperture and shutter speed for the videos, depending on how much light I have. So whether I'm in this room, this is where I usually shoot the vlog, except that I'm facing the other way, so with my desk behind me. Dealing with a window right next to me, two opening doors here. If it out being behind me, everybody goes that way already. And so the vlogging, it's like a challenge, this hurdle that I had to get to has been something that's held me back because I wanted something that was extremely polished. And now doing the daily stand-ups has, one, forced me to get past all of those things. So I can't worry about the video, the lighting, the sound, the editing. I can't worry about any of that because it's live and because I'm streaming directly from these two devices. So I have Facebook Live on here, I'll show you. I have Facebook Live on my phone and a small tripod. And then I have YouTube on my laptop streaming through Google Hangouts. So what I do is I place both of them behind me or behind each other. And that's how I do my live streaming. So it's forcing me to not worry about the end result so much and having so much polish. And the fact that, so that's one big thing. And the other part, the fact that it's every day, that I've committed to doing every day, gives me the it matters what it is. And it doesn't matter if it's are or not. All right. So, okay. And so what I've done over the last 7 days, first of all, start streaming to YouTube and Google at the same time. Since day one, I actually started paying attention to how much I was promoting it across other channels. So on like Twitter or my personal Facebook page, getting it out that way. A couple of days after that, I started doing stuff on Instagram, where I now produce small little clips that I can throw into my stories. So that's been in there. And that's been over the course of like 7 days, where everything's been slowly building up. And I've been able to do that because I've showed up every single day, and I've actually worked at it and tried to make little improvements to hopefully make these daily live streams a little bit more interesting. Not only with the content that I cover, but also the production quality of them. I would like to eventually switch over to using my other camera. I have a Sony 7S that I shoot the vlogs on. I'd like to use that camera instead for better quality and then stream the video into some sort of encoder and use those for the live stream. And what else? The next thing about for daily stand-up that I haven't really talked about, I should probably write like a blog post about this and try to promote it a little bit more. But I started the daily stand-up talking about my daily tasks, and I quickly realized that sometimes it was hard to do that, only because sometimes priorities shift in the middle of the day, or the daily stand-ups runs over a little bit longer than what I wanted to. And so then I don't talk about every single task that I have. I have phone calls every day, but it's really hard to tell you that I have a phone call when I can't tell you who it's with or what it's about. And that's usually because they're potential clients. So one, there's not a lot there to talk about, and two, it wouldn't be fair to them to be talking about them when they don't know, and they're not working with me yet. So that's one of them. And again, yeah, the other thing is just having to run down that list is a little bit harder. So if you've noticed the last few days or over the course of the week, what I've done is I've now kind of transitioned to still talking about a little bit about what I'm doing. So it is a traditional stand-up, but also trying to include some something that's relevant, something that's actually happening. So we've talked about Medium, we've talked about YouTube, and in this case, I'm just sharing some personal insights into how doing this every day has helped me. So my point is, what I want to get to is eventually I'd like to be able to have some call-ins to the daily stand-up. So I know a lot of you guys are working on side projects, working with small early stage startups, and this would give you guys a great opportunity to call in, give me your daily stand-up, talk about the things that you're working on, talk about the things that you are building or shipping and what you're doing within that day. And there are things that I can feature on the daily stand-up and help give you guys exposure, and then have additional topics and products that we can talk about. So that's coming up. Hopefully we'll start something maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks. I'm still kind of going over the idea a little bit. And then the final thing, actually, which I'll mention is I'm going to start recording these so that I can turn them into a podcast. But before I do the podcast portion of it, that means I'll have to start planning some of the topics ahead of time a little bit so that I know what I'm going to cover and make sure that we have a specific time frame that we can stick these to. So that means you'll have the option of either catching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook, or you can listen to the podcast at any time. So I think that's it for today. Hope you guys have had a great week. Hope you have a great Friday and an even better weekend. I will see you guys back on Monday for another daily stand-up. And that's it. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.